Thanks for stopping by my channel here at Living and Loving This Crazy Life. So today I thought I would show you all a sample of a homeschool portfolio. This is my oldest, Josiah. He was in 5th grade this year. And I thought I'd show you guys just kind of a sample of his portfolio of what, maybe some ideas of what you can do, maybe if you homeschool and you choose the portfolio option. I know whenever I first started homeschooling, I was clueless as really to, what I needed to put in there, what it needed to look like, and so, yeah, just thought I'd share it with you guys, and maybe if you have some other ideas, drop them in the comments down below, and so, yeah. So for our homeschool portfolio, I use just a simple 3-ring binder. I picked this up from Walmart, just a couple of dollars. Has a front pocket here, and I've used this same little sheet in the front, just a clip art that I'd gotten off of the computer, and stick it there in the front. I usually print off a form for our reviewer to fill out, and I usually get that from the West Virginia Home Educators Association. I usually just stick it right there so it's ready for our reviewer. I always use these little pockets here. They're so handy. I put our grade year, and these are some sweet little notes from our reviewer. She's reviewed our homeschool portfolios for us since we've been homeschooling, and we love her. She's fantastic. But I always like to give an introduction page for all of the curriculums and various resources that we've used through that year. You would consider me, I'm more of an eclectic kind of homeschooler. I use a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm not more so one method only, especially where I have several different age groups. What works for one doesn't always work for the other, so that's the beauty of homeschool. We use what works. And I usually divide these out, which is these little simple dividers. I also purchased those from Walmart. But on our curriculum and resources, I always like to, any websites or anything like that we've used, I always like to throw that in there too. I always include an all about me page, and I have Josiah fill one of these out, and my other kids will too. I love being able to look back each year and see, how much they've grown and what they enjoyed, at these different stages in their life, and that's just something that I like to do myself. These are some character traits that we have worked on this year, and I included that. I always like to include pictures of extracurricular activities, special things that we've done. Here Josiah he's singing with our church youth group, and church functions, baseball, a Sunday school class, spring league, and basketball. And we had a fun trip to the zoo, and I got a ton of pictures, but I didn't get them printed out in time, and so I thought, it's okay. Next I have math. Now, as I said, we use several different things, so I don't use just one curriculum. So this is actually from teaching textbooks. That's my favorite math curriculum by far. We used it along with Abeka Academy this year. Excuse me. There is no set limit to how many pages per subject that you can include. That's pretty much up to your discretion, what you think. And if you have a reviewer in mind, you would probably want to ask them if they had certain specifications or things that they were looking for, a certain amount of papers or, projects or things like that that they would want to see before compiling your portfolio. One of the great things about teaching textbooks is it's computer-based. It has a workbook that goes along with it, but it grades everything for you. It keeps it all recorded. And when assessment time comes, you just hit print, and it's fabulous. I love it. Love it, love it. And this is going into our Abeka Academy curriculum that we used. Science. This is by far Josiah's favorite. I included a research project that I had Josiah do. As I said, we've used several different curriculums and resources, so this was from Easy Peasy, and I love Easy Peasy. Let me flip through here. We did a lot of classifications. Josiah has been extremely into biology this year and animals, and so we've done a lot of interest-led learning this year, and we've really enjoyed that, and we've learned a lot. So next, language arts, one of my favorites. I can't say that it's my kiddos' favorites, but I've always loved language arts. But we did mainly stick to Abeka for our language arts this year. And as I said, there's no set amount of how many papers you need to include, but I always like to include a progression. The beginning of the year, the middle of the year, the end of the year, so that you can see where they were at the beginning and the things that they've learned and how they've progressed. I always like to include a creative writing sample in our language arts section. Here I have our reading section. These are some comprehension and speed drills that we have done. This is also from our Abeka curriculum. Easy peasy vocabulary. I always include vocabulary, comprehensions, things like that in our reading section. And this year we did a lot of interest-led reading as well. Josiah is a vivacious reader, and I love that. I love to read myself, and so I try to encourage all of my children in their love of reading, and I hope that that will continue to flourish in them. As I said, we had a lot of interest-led reading this year, as well as curriculum reading that was assigned. History. This is by far my favorite subject to teach. I love history. I don't know if you're familiar with lap books. Easy Peasy uses lap books a lot. These are kind of more of a hands-on, kinesthetic learning kind of. I love these. And they're small, they don't take up a lot of space, and you can hang on to these for the kids can refer back to them, or if you save your children's work, go back in there. But I love lap books. They're so fun, and the kids retain that information, but it's not, just doing worksheets or anything, like it's exciting, it's hands-on. So we love lap books. And this was our unit that we did on ancient Egypt and on King Tut. We learned some hieroglyphics. We made papyrus. That was fun and messy. One and the same. We learned about the pyramids, some important people throughout our history. Here I included our Martin Luther King Jr. With our Abeka curriculum, we have learned a lot of geography this year. And with my younger ones, even though Josiah was in the 5th grade this year, and my other 5 children are much younger, we do our Bible lessons together, our science together, and our history together. Now, reading and math and language arts, I do more age-specific, and even with the science and the history and the Bible, there are some things that are more age-specific to the younger ones. But we usually do those 3 together. And my little ones have learned so much geography this year. It blows my mind. And so I love that. And I myself have learned some things that I didn't even know. And so this was just various things that we went over here. And I included our unit that we did on Explorers through Easy Peasy. And we just learned about some various explorers. And Josiah found pictures of them and the routes that they took whenever they did their explorations. And he wrote a little bit about each one. And so we included that in our portfolio. And that's pretty much all that I included. And as I said, some people put a whole lot more, some people put a whole lot less. And that, as I said, by law, there's no amount that you have to include or things that you have to show. But that is up to your discretion and what you feel is going to show your child's capabilities and the things that they've accomplished this year. And this is your time to let your child shine, to put forth their best work and be proud of the things that they've learned this year and all of their accomplishments, and to just, really showcase their work. Shoo! Look at his hair, no makeup. Oh well. So it's so pretty outside and warm, so I snuck out here on the porch to do this quick little video on our portfolio. But just to kind of hit a few questions that I sometimes get as a homeschooling mom. There are certain guidelines and specifications for each state. They're all different. And so things that I refer to, those are just West Virginia homeschool law. It doesn't pertain to any other state, so just West Virginia. But there are other assessment options. In the future, I don't know. We may opt to do another assessment option. I'm not a huge fan of standardized testing. Don't like them at all. I know some people that really do, and that's great. That's great. That's fine. They work for them. I'm not fond of them myself. And I have my own reasons. There's pros, there's cons to all things. That might be something that I consider in the future, but as of right now, I really enjoy the portfolio method. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of record keeping and keeping up with papers and work and compiling everything and putting it together. But I know for me, it makes me feel really excited when I do start putting them together to see, the transitions and the progressions that we've made throughout the year, and to look back on all the things that we've learned. And it's really exciting. I know, homeschool mom geek, sorry. But this next coming school year, Josiah will be in the 6th grade. And then some of my other ones are starting officially. Now we've been doing learning at home since we brought them home. But as far as officially starting, I've got a couple this year, and so it's exciting, that they're going to be starting and teaching several age groups at one time. It takes some planning, it takes some thought, it takes some creativity, and I love it. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity that God has given me to be able to be at home with my children, to watch them learn and to help them learn. And that makes me excited. Makes me really excited. So, and before anybody jumps on my case, I am not anti-public school in any way, shape, or form. I attended public school, graduated. Public school is wonderful for some children and not so wonderful for other ones. It's great for some families and not so great for other families. And before we decided to homeschool, there was a lot of back and forth. I felt a lot of pressure from everyone, to kind of go with the flow. But we prayed and prayed and prayed, and this is the road, the path that God was leading us down. And there for a while I was really kind of resistant to it, just out of my own fears and my own securities. Am I going to be able to teach my children? Am I going to be able to do everything? Are they going to be missing out? Or it's just personal insecurities. You worry, you love your children, and you want the best for them. And but I'm so glad now that we listened, when God told us that this is the path He wanted us to go down. And it's, we kind of go by year to year. Things can change. So if God would ever lead us in a different direction, then we would have to go that direction. But as of right now, I'm very thankful to be able to be here with my kids and to watch them learn and to watch them grow. And is every day perfect? No. Do I feel like pulling my hair out? Yes. Do I ever feel like choking my kids? Yep, yeah, I do. But for the most part, everybody, we all have bad days. I have bad days. They have bad days. Some days you just don't, you just don't feel it. And that's okay. There's many, many days that we've tried, and I get frustrated, they get frustrated, so we take a break, and that's okay. That's okay. And so guys, thanks for watching my video here on putting together a homeschool portfolio. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me through email or my blog, or comment down here. You can also find me on Facebook. And so I appreciate you guys and the support that you've given me. And so yeah, I love you. You're great. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.